It's a show. It's a podcast show. Welcome to the Julie Cross Podcast Show. Empowering, energising and entertaining. Hey friends, Julie Cross here. How are you doing today? Sometimes I wish I could talk to you and you could answer back and we could have a chat just like that, but this is a podcast show. And so I'm going to share some more stuff with you today, some good stuff. I wanted to talk about, in fact, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, so I'm just going to take a minute to get my shit together. Okay, I'm back. I got it. But that's interesting because what I was going to talk about was a little bit around focus. And so clearly I totally just lost my focus. And we all do sometimes. And sometimes it lasts for a long time where I feel like I'm wandering around in circles, not knowing where to go next. And sometimes in doing that, we miss our opportunities. We miss things that were right there in front of us. So I just want to talk about that today as we move through 2019. Because sometimes we've asked for something from life, we set a goal and we've asked for something, but we're expecting it to show up looking exactly like we've asked for it, and we miss it because it might have been dressed in other clothes or dressed in a different opportunity or looking a little bit different. So we just need to be very aware of that. And I think there's a little story that explains it most. And you might have heard this story. I didn't make this up. Somebody else, I read this somewhere. But, the guy that was in a flood and he's on his roof, and he's prayed to God to help him, save him from the flood. And then a boat comes with people in it and they say, hop in, we'll save you. And he goes, no, it's all right, God's going to save me. And then the helicopter came and, they said, we'll winch you up. He said, no, it's okay, go and save the others because God's going to save me. So eventually he drowned. And so then he's in heaven and he chats to God and he says, I'm disappointed. I believed in you, I had faith and I thought that you're going to come and save me. And God says, well, we sent the boats, we sent the helicopters, we tried, but you resisted. And I think that that's a great story as an analogy for how often there have been opportunities that have presented themselves, but we've missed them because they didn't show up looking the way that we thought that they should look. We weren't focused enough to notice that they had arrived. Somebody said that to me once, Julie, because I talk about these what I call miracle moments, these moments that come by that I choose to see as miracles. And this lady sort of responded one day and said, well, how come you get all the miracles, like being annoyed at me that I got all the miracles? Well, I don't. You get them too, but you're not noticing them. You're missing them. And, whatever we focus on expands. So if you focus on noticing the opportunities or the miracles, you'll get more of them. So don't miss your miracles. Don't miss your opportunities because they're not showing up the way that you think that they should be showing up. Look for them everywhere. So, if you've asked for more people to be buying your product, maybe it's a conversation that you have on the train with somebody that you bother to have the conversation, that you look up and say hello, that person may be your next customer. We're just not, what are we expecting them to do? All our, opportunities to be all lined up nicely with labels on? That's just not going to be the case. Opportunities show up in all different disguises. So we've just got to be very much in the moment and be prepared to have the conversations, to make the connections, to be in the moment and to know that that was our work at that time. That was our work. And that leads me on to this next point I want to make about what our work actually is. And I go through this, when my diary is quiet, my calendar looks quiet, I start getting a little fearful and I have to talk myself through it and trust again and know that, the universe has got my back. The universe will always provide, so let me trust into that. And then it pulls me right back into the moment and noticing the opportunities around me that I may have missed when I was busy doing other things. It pulls me right back into the moment to notice what my real job here is on this earth doing this. And so what I mean by that is this, and I go into the IGA, I go to buy some meat, a very habitual and routine thing that we all do every day. And as I'm buying the ham, I say 200 grams of ham, please. She throws the ham on the scales and they pick up a clump of ham, they throw it on the scales and then they sort of work out the weight from there. Well, she threw it on the scales right at 200, right on the money, first time. So I'm like, woohoo, brrree. I said, you need a bell to ring when that happens. That's amazing. 200 right on the money, right up front, slapped it on the scales. Who's a winner? You're a winner. I'm a winner. And next thing you know, everyone in the IGA is looking over what the hell's going on over at the deli. And next thing we've got an audience, she's gone from turning bright red to feeling pretty damn good about herself. And she's smiling and laughing and we're all connecting. You see, that's an opportunity in the moment to show who I am to the world, to show up as who I am in the world. That was my stage in that moment. moment. Now, did they suddenly book me for an event? No, but you've made a deposit in your karmic, bank balance in life. You've put yourself out there and put yourself forward because you've been a good human. You've made somebody smile today and you've created connections. And that's what my work is about. I don't know how that will show up in my life in some other way. And I may never get to see that. But you don't do it because there's something in it for you. You do it because it's an opportunity for you to be who you are and to play out who you are on that stage and to leave the world feeling better. And that's what I want to do every day, leave people in it feeling better from me having been there. I was in at the Aldi. I'm in at Aldi and there was a lady in front of me and the guy, habitual and routine in his work, he's bipping all the things as they come through. Beep, beep. And then the lady says, oh, I think you need to do a price check on that. I'm not sure that was the right price. So he does that and then she goes, beep, beep. No, she says, I think you need to do another price check on that because I'm really not sure that was right. I think it was tagged differently. And he was starting to get a little frustrated. Then she did it again and he's trying desperately not to show his frustration. And then that lady left and then it's now my turn to be served. So my first item goes through beep. My second item goes through beep. I go, oh, I think you might need to do a price check on that. He looked at me and he had to try to stop himself from rolling his eyes and I said, I'm just joking. And in that moment he laughed and I laughed and the lady behind me laughed and we all had a bit of a chat. It lightened the mood. And that was my stage in that moment to do that. I had a stage in that moment to be who I am, to show the universe how I show up in it. I don't know what opportunities come from that for me. I will never know, but I was focused on being in the moment, giving the best of myself to that moment of engagement and being a good human. That was my work in that moment. And then there was the story, which I've told here before, but you may not remember, of Marjorie, the lady that was sitting at the bus stop one day when I first shifted into this new apartment and Thomas was first catching the bus to school and I was helping him get the bus sorted out. So I walked down with him to the bus stop because the bus had been late the day before and we had anxiety and tantrums. And so I went down to the bus stop with him to make sure he caught the bus and everything was fine. And as I'm sitting there, this elderly lady walked up and sat beside me and I saw that she had a vision impaired badge on her. And we sort of just started chatting a little bit and Thomas is walking around getting furious, waiting for his bus. And then she sort of said to me, oh, can you tell me when bus 696 comes? She said, I can't see very well and if you could let me know so that I don't miss it. And I said, of course. Anyway, then Thomas's bus comes and I put Thomas on the bus and I had all this work to get back to and I thought, and as I went to walk away, I remembered Marjorie. So I looked back at Marjorie and I said, oh, Marjorie, Thomas has caught his bus. Are you okay? Or do you still need me to help you? And there was nobody else at the bus stop. And she kind of looked at me and she said, oh, I really would love it if you could help me. And I have to tell you, in my head in that moment, I was like, oh, for God's sake, I've got all this work I've got to do. And then the universe whispered to me, Julie, who are you really? How do you want to show up into the world? And you project that you want to leave the world better. You want to, spread the love and inspire people and make them feel great. Well, this is your work. Right now, this is the stage at this bus stop for you to do your work on. This is your opportunity to do that. And so I sat and chatted with Marjorie and we found out we had all kinds of things in common. And she inspired me that day with her story of going to visit her 95-year-old mother in a nursing home. So here's Marjorie, visually impaired, sitting at the bus stop, catching a bus to go and visit her mother who's in a nursing home. And I had the most wonderful in-depth conversation with her and it was such a gift for me that day and it was exactly where I needed to be and what I needed to hear. What opportunities come from that? I don't know, but I know that every year everything has worked out perfectly. And it will again, as long as I keep pulling myself back into those moments and giving the best of myself in each of those moments. So opportunities are everywhere. Opportunities to give, to be who you are everywhere. You don't just have to wait for the paying stage or the opportunity that looks like the opportunity. So don't miss it. Don't miss the moments where the universe is supporting us in so many ways. The universe will provide. Okay, catch you next time.
Would you like a little bit more sparkle? Then you're invited to download a free poster at juliecross.com.au.